that's a triple play. New episodes, I couldn't wait. Yeah, open your mind at the first gate. Press play, no need to debate. AOA, check me out. Look, clocked in, you can catch the hype. Golden Dawn, how we follow the light. Anime like life, married to it, my wife.
Yo guys, what's going on? It's Isaiah here with my boy Gavin.
Yo, what's going on?
And if you guys are fans of our Haikyuu, both our reactions and our videos that we do over here on the AOA show, you'll know that at the end of each season, we like to do like a review where we sort of discuss the season in recap as a whole, and then we do a tier list of our favorite characters, just ranking them over like ability and stuff like that. Hunter x Hunter is a little weird because it doesn't have like technical, seasons, at least in the traditional sense. But we've asked some people on our Discord, and we sort of broke down the best way to divide the show up in terms of seasons, like what would cultivate, one section of the show and then another and then another, basically breaking them up by a couple arcs. So that's what we're doing today. We're doing a tier list, and this tier list is going to be specifically between the Hunter license exam, so basically the very beginning of Hunter x Hunter, all the way up to the Zoldark arc, which is meeting Killua's family and getting him to rejoin the boys. If you like this video, you like what we're doing here, or you just like Hunter x Hunter, because that's good enough of a reason, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this channel so you can see not only our Hunter x Hunter videos, which we plan on doing eventually. I think we also definitely want to do like a review style thing,
yes,
of what we're talking about here with this tier list. But we talk about a bunch of different anime. We do a bunch of different anime types of content, right? For anything from tier list to video essays to vlogs to podcast type discussions. We got it all. But without further ado, let's get into this. So if you guys don't know, just amongst the AOA guys in general, we have a house rule here with tier list, which is that everybody gets a token. So we do the tier list, we put everybody where we want, and then at the end, both Gavin and I get a token, which means we get to take a character and put them wherever we want, and there's no questions asked, and I mean, we can ask questions, but it doesn't matter. And you can, and that's it. Like wherever we move them, that's where they're staying. So let's start.
Oh, I'm so ready for this.
All right, so first up, we have Canary, I believe is her name.
Sister Crone.
Yes. Sister Crone's
Mini
daughter
Sister Crone.
is obviously,
Sister Crone's daughter.
she like got born into Promised Neverland and was like, nope, yeeted the fuck out of there.
Yep, 100%.
Because that shit was crazy, and was like, I'll just settle with the Zoldocks.
I'll settle with the Zoldocks.
They're chill. I mean, they asked me to kill somebody occasionally, but like, whatever.
The same personality type.
Yeah. But I actually really liked her character. I don't know. It kind of hurt me a little bit when at the end with that arc where Killua was like, "All right, gone, we're leaving," and like walks right by her, and
yes.
I don't know if it was like she didn't want to say anything, or she was like, "No, he sort of passed this family and passed me at this moment." But I'm like, I kind of wish like she had like said something and been like, "No, Killua, like I've always liked you," or whatever.
Yeah, give him a little kiss, pat on the head. No, I'm kidding. He's good. So, quick thing for this tier list: is this just based off of how we like them, or is it the prominence of the story?
So I think that's normally what Ian and I do with the Haikyuu ones. Is we'll do both. So we'll do like, you can rely on their general impact on the story if like you kind of feel neutral about a character. Okay. But your like ability and like can play a factor into where you want to vote them.
Okay. Interesting.
I think I would, just off my gut, I think I would say B, but I don't know if I'm being too nice, like just because I like the character. No, I actually think like C in terms of like just like what she's done and stuff.
So my initial gut reaction was C as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, really no reasoning for it. That was just like, I don't know, I see her in the C, but I do like her. I feel like there's a lot of room for her to grow.
Okay.
Ooh, excuse me. And I know that she could be like a B or even an A if we had more info on her and like a little bit of her backstory and her relationship with Killua and how far back that stems and kind of, I don't know, I feel like there is some still like there's some more secret interactions that we don't know about. I mean, I could be completely wrong because they kind of showed us everything, or at least what they wanted us to see.
If she showed back up, like, and it's like, oh, I'm like with so and so now and it's whatever. But.
Yeah, and I kind of feel bad because like obviously we know how Killua's family treats other people, especially like the butlers or servants, and it's like, I mean, she pretty much got sniped to the face. I mean, granted, she didn't die, but it's like, it's not under the best circumstances, so you want her to break free from them, I'd imagine, or at least flourish in her own regard. So I wonder if that is what we'll see in the future, is her like stepping stone on creating her new life outside of being locked up on a mountain with like million-pound doors.
Okay.
So
All right, I think C's fair then.
I will go C.
Let's do it.
I agree. Okay.
All right, next we have Killua's mom.
Killua's mom, which we are
AKA.
responsible. We have their names. It is Kikyo.
Kikyo Zoldark.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy bitch.
Yeah.
Off the ringer. Clearly the whole power dynamic here in the Zoldyck family is like, we cherish and prioritize anybody who feels like they can push our like family rep and our agenda like first, and then anybody below that is kind of like we just do whatever with them. So she clearly seemed to praise Killua for his natural talent and his knack for being an assassin. Like even more so over the fact that like this is a child who needs to be like raised and loved and like treated fairly and all that stuff.
Yes.
So naturally, like you do, he attacked and attempted to assassinate his mother and then abandoned his family and left at the whatever age he is.
In which she loved,
yeah,
by the way.
Exactly. Yeah.
No hard feelings.
Which she was like, bro, nice hit. Like, yeah. So she wasn't really all that. Like, I think she was more beat about the fact that he left over the fact that he tried to kill her.
100%.
Which is exactly my point. It's like this woman, in terms of mother, her priorities are couldn't be more out of whack. She's putting some anime dads to shame, which usually get the rep for being not so good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say D, man.
You're D. I'm borderline Tompa level right here.
Really?
Tompa is there's a reason why he has his own category.
Just so you guys know, I'm sure if you've watched our reaction, you feel a specific way about Tompa, and yes, that's why he has his own thing, because I just feel that strongly about the character.
Okay, you know what? We'll keep him on his own little island. I will settle for D. Okay. That is where I'll put him on.
That's
So
right.
I will agree. And I'm not going to give Tonpa the luxury of getting just skipped to his own dedicated island. We're going to wait till it's his turn because he doesn't
get any. He doesn't get pushed to the front.
No special treatment for him.
All right, next, the boy, the protagonist Kun, Gon Freeze. I'm not gonna lie, dude. When we started Hunter x Hunter, I wasn't in it for Gon. I wasn't like I didn't immediately click or attach to him, and it took me a couple episodes. I would actually say, trying memory serves me correctly. When we got to, I want to say like the start of the Hunter x Hunter. Or the Hunter exams, when Tompa offers them the drink, like when they meet him in that like cave or whatever before they start the first thing. I think that was the first time I was like, okay, I kind of like this kid. But from where we are now, and spoiler, just for, like this list is just covering from the beginning of the show to the Zoldyck arc. But at the time of recording, Gavin and I actually just finished the Heaven's Arena arc. Correct. So we're not gonna be using any of that last arc's knowledge in this, but that's just where we're at.
Yes.
I love him. I love this kid so much. He fits obviously like the protagonist like bill right away, but there's something about this like naive to a fault, like I want everybody to be having a good time, and like if somebody is falling behind, I'm gonna stay behind to like carry them on my back type beat. That's just absolutely admirable. I love him so much.
Yeah, you know what he does well? I always so this archetype or this character archetype we've seen like in almost every single show. Like it's used so much. But one thing that I really like about Gon, which is why I love him, is he does it to a fault, but not in the way that I want to punch him in the face. Yeah. He is just so adorable and cute that you can't get mad at him. And there's so many characters that I know with this archetype that are just annoying with it. Yeah. Like they do what they do for like kind of like stupid, ignorant reasons where it's just like, dude, just come on. Like, I'm done. Like, stop being annoying and just like driving home this one point or this one instance, and it's just reoccurring over and over.
It's honest.
Yeah.
It's not like, because there are so many like characters and protagonist type things where it's like, oh, what? I like, the whole stereotype that they're really thick and like dull and dense and they don't understand what's going on even though they should. Gon, like, for all intents and purposes, is actually kind of stupid. Like when it comes to like just being in the world and how to interact with people and stuff. But it's not like he's stupid in an honest way. And he's not, like again, like the example I just gave with the whole Tompa thing. He's the only one who's like, why shouldn't we drink it? You know, and then when Kurapika's like, dude, it's poison. Like, he's clearly trying to fuck with us. Gon is always looking for a good reason to believe that somebody, give them the benefit of the doubt and to trust people, even when there's no conceivable reason to.
Exactly.
But then that makes moments when he is betrayed and when he is angry at somebody all the more terrifying.
Exactly.
Like when he's fighting the dude on the, well, okay, actually that's a bad example because it's a future arc, but even in the last part of the test, when on that island, Gon, when Gon is angry at somebody, you know he's actually angry. Yeah. Because Gon will give somebody every possible like way and point to like be like, no, I'm just kidding, you know, like change their mind or not like have to fight them. Like he seems just from his upbringing, somebody who's incredibly strong, but he doesn't like fighting to hurt people. You know what I mean? Like he's only fighting if like you're fucking with him or his friends. And I love because if you think about like Naruto plays like the idiot protagonist beat, but it clearly, at least in my opinion, feels more of like he does it because of like the class clown archetype and to like get attention. He's not actually as stupid as he comes across, even though like, you know, he's not obviously not the most intelligent character in the show, but Naruto is a little bit smarter and knows more about like what's going on than most people will give him credit for. But Gon isn't. There's like an actual innocence and honesty to like how much he doesn't know, because he is he basically grew up on a remote island and is now seeing the world for the first time. And like, so there's this like, he's being dumb, but like, what else would he be? You know?
You know what it is? It's like Naruto, he's funny because he's trying to be funny in a sense, or even if he doesn't mean it that way, it just comes across as like him trying to be like that class clown. Where Gon is one of those people who is just so unfunny, it's hilarious, and it plays to him because it's that brutal honesty that you like take back, and it catches you off guard, and you can't help but laugh and be like, "What is going on? Like, are you serious?" But it's Gon. Like, it's him in such like just a raw form, and it's amazing. So
I'm gonna say S, bro.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. Like I said, it took me a little bit, but now I don't even think I could watch a show without him.
100%.
He's a
staple, bro.
We need the boy. We need the boy.
100%.
All right. Next up is I believe he's touted as like the highest in command of the butlers, of the servants in the family.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, like he's the kind of because remember when they call into the family, he's like the guy who's sort of like the spokesperson or the in-between.
Yeah, I think he had like a specific role name, but I don't remember if it was like president of the butler or something. Like, he had like a role name, but he was like a top dog when it came to the butlers.
He's pretty... you know, obviously right off the bat he comes off like cold and distant, whatever. And he's like, oh, Killua doesn't have friends, like you guys go. But I actually imagine that this is a character who, let's put it this way, of all the servants and probably even the actual family members of the Zoldark family, he's probably one of the people that does actually care about Killua. But I think unlike the older guy at the very bottom, who we'll get to last, I think he just he's a different way of showing it. I think because this guy, is it Goto? Goto.
Yeah, Goto.
Because he interacts with the actual Zoldark family more, it seems, and because he's like sort of more in the thick of it, I think he's got a much more jaded sense of like how to take care of Killua or like what Killua needs. But I actually think he like is looking out for Killua more than like his family is, in the sense that like his parents clearly are like, what, you're an assassin, that's it, you'll be fine, you don't need anything else. And he you know, at the end when he has the confrontation and stuff with Gon, he's like, okay, no, I see, like, if anybody were to ride with Killua, like, Killua needs somebody like this. He needs somebody, like, this is the kind of person he needs watching out for him, not somebody who's, like, you know, wants his skills as an assassin, but somebody who wants to be around this kid to be his friend. So I don't know. I think I'm not crazy. Like, he's not my favorite character. He was, like, a one-and-done thing in that arc. But I do think of the servants, and really of most, like I said, of the people in his family, he actually, I think he's, you know, he does genuinely care about Killua. He's just kind of wonky about showing it. I would say C, I think, if I had to gut reaction.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him in D with Killua's mom. But I do like how he almost seems like he does his job a little bit too well. And I mean, obviously he's a butler, but like his main goal is to serve the family, you know, and he follows their every word. But with that, he's also grown up with these kids, and he also, in a sense, I'm sure has his own opinion on things. But when it came down to thick and thin, he wanted to have his own test where, you know, he followed in line Killua's parents, but he needed to be proved wrong in terms of his mindset, or he needed to be proved wrong to where it would I don't want to make him seem disloyal, but obviously he was given commands by Killua's parents, and he's not just going to go against them. However, with seeing how persistent these characters are being Gon, Kurapika, and Leorio, he as the persistence went on, he was like, I'm going to test them in my own way, and they need to pass this test because that will prove something to me that maybe Killua's parents aren't seeing, even though I'm their butler. Right. And he took that upon himself, which many people don't have to do, especially in his situation, which is why we had that kind of like crux of, oh, we don't like him because he's doing his job to the T. So, oh, now he's kind of breaking that other wall and kind of putting other things into perspective, which I actually really liked in his character, although he was probably just a one and done if we do see him in the future, which I feel like we will when we go back to Killua's family, but I don't know how prominent his role is going to be. Yeah. With that said, I would also go C, so I'm pretty sure we're in agreement there. Bam.
Got you, Goto. Got you,
Goto.
All right, next is the boy Hatso. He is the ninja guy. He's one of the final contestants, one of the people who passes the hunter licensing exam with Gon and company. And he has his, I think it's safe to say, at least again from where we are now, so judging this being the end of the Zoldark arc, his most prominent moment is his fight with Gon, yes. Right? And I think it actually opens up a lot into his character and sort of like how his beliefs, how he views the world, where it's like everything is pretty much matter of fact, right? If you are not strong enough to do X, Y, and Z, you won't make it or be able to accomplish or get done what you want to get done. And he sort of, his revelatory moment is facing Gon because he learns that there is such a thing as an indomitable will, as somebody who is so strong and determined in what they want to do that throwing all these facts and logic and how the way the world isn't enough. Like it's almost an excuse at some point. So I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle with this character because I like the character just sort of like aesthetically and overall, and I like where he was at with the world and sort of like fighting his characters. But he did, and again, I will say, I think I was saying this to Gavin when I was making this list. I put specifically Hanzo and Polk on this list because not only do they both pass the hunter licensing exam, but they are both alluded to after the fact in terms of like where we are now. So I'm assuming that they're going to be brought up again and there is some more relevancy to them.
100%.
But I guess my point is, as of right now, just judging where we're at with this list at the end of the Zoldark arc, he kind of feels more like a character that needed to be there for Gon. Like, right? Like he needed, his presence was to verify to us how strong Gon's will is, right? Now again, I'm sure he'll get more like with his character as we get into the story, but like right now, there isn't like a whole lot for me to attach onto past that initial fight and like his beliefs, which, like I said, for me, like actually did more for Gon than it did for Hanzo, but that's just my thing.
Yeah, no, and I actually weirdly feel like his role is going to be with Gon in the future in terms of teaching him different things in terms of his style, how he sees the world, because I don't know, I feel like he has a very he's a ninja, so obviously he's very meditative. He almost has like that zen with nature, which I do feel like Gon has in a sense, especially with his upbringing and in terms of like fishing and doing different things in nature, and that's why he has like different senses and abilities at a young age that are innate to other people. So I do feel like that's interconnected in a sense, and Hanzo's going to be that person who lets Gon reach that next level. Could be completely wrong, but I could see a connection there, especially coming after that fight. In terms of, honestly, Hanzo can probably learn something from Gon in terms of the willpower, because that fight hurt him, I'd assume, just as much as it hurt Gon, because it led to the culmination of that fight, and I'm sure internally he took a lot from that and would be curious to maybe spend some time with Gon, and they would both be able to kind of do a nice like give and pull in terms of learning from each other. So I do think he's going to be more prominent. It's just a matter of when. With that said, I don't know where to put him.
I'm feeling, my gut says C, but I am willing to go down to D just off the premise that like C is really just because I like him, but again, it's the, it's the argument that I had initially with Canary, where it's like, I want to say C just because I vibe with him, but like in terms of character and like what he does, like I said, I kind of feel like Gon sort of pillars off that moment more than he does, and it's like we haven't really gotten a Hanzo moment, so to speak. So I'd be willing to go to D if that's
Wow, it's weird. I was toying between B and C.
Oh, really? B.
Yeah, no, I like him. I don't know. I have a good feeling about him. I don't know why. Like half of this character is just based off my gut and what I think is going to be what we're going to see of him in the future.
Okay, well,
that's not a right way.
If your highest was B and my lowest was D,
we'll go C.
Yeah. Okay. 100%. Sounds fair.
That was fair. Boom, boom.
All right, we're here. It's time. It had to happen eventually. All right, I'm not gonna lie. So here's my thing.
Oh my God, here we go.
The literal only reason that I want. So my gut reaction was actually to put him in S, because I'm like, despite my personal feelings about Hisoka, he is such a character that like you can't deny watching Hunter x Hunter would be a literal different experience without him. But I feel like the reason I want to put him in A is because like every fiber in my being is telling me not to get, like, I can't give in. I just can't give in to this character 100%. If I do, it's like because I feel like everybody is like, Ahsoka's real, like the how much they like him and like what's wrong with this character is like 80-20, and I'm the only one who's like, guys, I think it's like 50-50, and nobody else believes me, and so I'm like, I can't go with S.
No one else believes me. I'm alone on my island.
I can't go with S because then it's like I'm betraying my feelings. I have to be like, Ahsoka, I love you as a character, but like you gotta rein it in, I don't know. I just can't. My body, everything in my I just got the feelings. I just can't.
Well, the only but that needs to be in the statement that you just said was, although it doesn't relate to this tier list, is when they just went straight booty when he was on the phone when he was talking to Gon.
Which apparently, actually, funny thing, is anime exclusive.
Yeah.
In the manga.
Yeah, because they knew what they wanted and they knew what people wanted, and they fulfilled
yeah.
it. They had to market their show. Imagine being like an 8-year-old kid just watching the show and it's like, ooh, Hunter x Hunter, and just Ahsoka's ass on the phone.
Oh my God.
Amazing. No, I love this character. S. He doesn't need further explanation. You all know. Everybody loves him. If you hate him, I don't know what to say about you. You're a lost cause. Isaiah's a lost cause. It's fine.
If you hate it, like, well, that's what I feel. I feel like it's like nobody hates Ahsoka, which is weird because he's one of the villains, and like his goal here is to eventually try and kill Gon, like long term. But like, I'd get it if you don't like him as a person or his character, but like hate is weird because it's like I hate Tompa. You know, like that's a character who I just hate. Like there's no other word to describe it. But it's like Hisoka, there is such a, in a weird way to mirror Gon, there's a weird honesty to his character where he's manipulative and he's deceitful, and he kind of like lies about like, especially like when he's in a fight and just sort of about like what he wants. Like he's never, but in a weird way, he's also like kind of direct about how he lives his life. You know, like there isn't a lot of like, oh, let me do this to buy favors in with this person so that then I can go do this and like try to do this, you know, whatever. There's not like 9 different routes he takes to get to one. It's like, oh, I want to do this, I'm going to do this. Like, again, we haven't really seen the fruits of this labor here, but he seems to have some ties to the Phantom Troop, but it feels very like fly by night. You know, it's like
that's the thing. He's like a chaotic neutral.
Yeah,
almost, but it's like
literally,
it's cool because you just never know what he's thinking, and that's what I like. It keeps me on my toes. And although I must say there is an uncomfortable atmosphere to him, which I will not deny, it's such an interesting character that I guess I don't see too often, or that it's done as well as his in terms of his archetype. So I'm all about it, and I can look past the creepiness at minor you know what I'm talking about, pedophilia. But you know what? It's not about the kids. It's about the potential power. So it's okay. It's okay.
Context.
I just got to be his lawyer. That's the thing. He just needs a lawyer by his side.
He needs a fucking star pupil lawyer. Some Ace Attorney shit to get him out of his shit. But
I love him.
I'm gonna hate myself with this. All right, I could see putting him in S.
I'm not. I concur. It's oh my God. I'm surprised it came from you, of all people.
So am I, Gavin. Let's just keep moving on before I change my mind. Okay. This is actually very fitting that we have the Zoldark Brothers back to back.
We got
first up
first.
is Illumi, right? That's his name?
Yeah, Illumi.
Illumi. Who I do just kind of like, not as much as Tompa, but I do just kind of hate.
Yeah, 100%.
He so
manipulative.
Yeah, right off the bat, like as manipulative as like I think you would expect Hisoka to be. You know what I mean? Like he's very like, oh, you don't want to do, like you're not worth anything. Like Hisoka, that's the thing. As evil and like clearly, you know, self-serving as Hisoka is, he's never been like, you don't have what it takes. Like sort of like trash talk somebody in their head before you even get into the ring. So it's, you know what I mean? Like he's very like, oh, you want to fight? All right, cool, let's fight. And in this fight, like I'll prove to you why you don't have what it takes to be here. But I'm not gonna like discount. Like it's hard to describe, but Illumi is very like clearly he sees himself above people, and it's like, okay, he, you know, you don't even, there are people who are born like with a right to be, you know, have power and skill and wealth and all that, and there are those that don't. And if you don't do basically what I say or don't believe in how I view the world, like that's what puts you at the bottom tier.
And you know what it is? Ahsoka has this charm that like every dangerous leader has, where it's like you just can't help but like want to follow and what they're saying, and it doesn't matter how weird. And that's kind of like the weird like third wall looking down. It's like I really shouldn't like Ahsoka because he's like the person that like usually messes something up in history, but he's only followed because people like him for no apparent reason. And it's like it's just the charisma behind it.
It's literally like White from Tower of God.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like,
100%.
It's just charisma. At the end of the day, Ahsoka has so much charisma that even though he's literally doing wrong things and like mean things, you're like, but he's just so charming.
And Mr. Illuminati over here doesn't have charisma, and that's what just makes it his manipulative tactics seem even worse.
It's actually funny that like he dresses like Ahsoka kind of at the beginning, and that he seems to align himself with him because he's literally Ahsoka. Actually, I feel without any of the charisma,
you know, literally just dead, soulless eyes that just have nothing better else to do with life.
Plus, the way he fucks with the boy Killua is just not appreciated, even in the slightest. So I'm saying D.
Yeah, I'm going mommy status.
Yeah,
he's
send him with his mom.
Send him to hell.
All right, next is Gon's right-hand man, the boy, the crazy killer, but we love, crazy killer with a heart of gold, Killua Zoldark. I just love Killua. He's like literally right up there with Gon.
Oh yeah.
In just that like I love that Killua is like, you know, again we get the Zoldyck arc, which I think is obviously his most prevalent arc, which is really good because I think without it he would come off as just like, oh, he's the you know, he's like the you know, what would you say, like he's the edgy, like, you know, kid of the group, like that's just who he needs to be. But there is valid reason to why he's the way he is, and it does get, it's like it doesn't come out of nowhere, right? It does get set up even all the way back to the Hunter arc when they're on the blimp going to the last exam, and he starts telling Gon a little bit about his upbringing. He's like, oh yeah, I think he even says he killed his mother, right? Or no, he says he attacked he tried to kill his mother, or something like that.
They're eating French fries. Well, I remember that, but not the actual conversation. I remember we're like, it says like, yo, those are some like dry ass French fries, or some like, oh no, like soggy. I don't know. I remember the French fries, but not the conversation. No.
Yeah. Regardless, Killua does have like a good amount of setup, and there is a nice payoff in the Zoldyck arc where it's like Killua was a product of his environment and his upbringing, right? Like this is a family of assassins, and these are the people who raised him. So he's gonna be crazy. He's gonna be a little unhinged, and he's going to be very much more willing to kill somebody for seemingly no reason than somebody like a Gon. But I think the moments, you know, ironic. It's funny because the moments with Killua that I like, if I had to think back, that I remember like most vividly are anytime he like got to be badass and cut loose. Because again, compared to Gon, if he was like Gon, you'd never. It's just nice seeing those moments with my character, because Gon's never really going to give us those, at least not yet. But the moments that I would say with Killua that also stand out just as much are the moments where he's clearly influenced by Gon and makes a decision that maybe Killua by himself would not have made. So, like for instance, one of the things that comes to my mind the most is when when they're in the training with Netero on the blimp on their way to the island. He's like going a couple rounds with Netero, and he starts to see that Netero is basically kind of toying with him, and he starts to get aggravated. And Killua, up until now, his only way to process feelings has been, I get annoyed at something, I kill him. That's it. But like now you see him sort of take this moment, and he like sort of stares at Gon, and he's like, you know what? Whatever, I'm over it. Like, and I just like those moments, seeing where Gon clearly can reach this kid that's under this sort of, you know, assassin type, you know, beat. Where at the end of the day, like that is what Killua is. That's why, like, it's funny. I was going through a couple pictures to get for the tier list here. I like this picture the most because, like, at the end of the day, Killua is a kid. He's a child 100%. who, you know, was put in the circumstances he was in, but like that's the part of Killua you have to connect with to actually like this character. You know what I mean? Is that he's a child who wants to have fun, he wants to play around, he wants to live, you know, he wants to enjoy life. He's just been put in a environment that like isn't prone to enjoying life, but you know, through Gon he gets that. But he's willing to take that risk, and he's willing to like go, like I think the Hunter exam is the biggest thing there, where it's like he joined the Hunter exam because he was like, I didn't have anything to do, like fuck it, whatever. But like through meeting Gon, he was like, and when his brother confronts him at the end, he's like, why are you even here? Like, you don't care about people. And he's like, no, I do now. Like, you know what I mean? It's so dope. I love it.
Yeah, for me, it's just total Coonbam syndrome. Like, I literally see so many similarities in both of their characters, and like, it's just what I like about Coon and Bam. Like, they balance each other so well. Like, it's literally just it's the peanut butter to its jelly. I mean, I don't know, the waffle to its syrup, bro. I can go on all day. Just a foot to the flip flop. I don't care, dog. They just go hand in hand, and you can't separate them. A foot to the flip flop. I'm trademarking that right now. I'm telling you. No, but you did right now, and I just came up with this. But like, it's their characters blend so well, and they play off of each other so well, and it just makes that dynamic. Like, that dynamic is just so much fun, and it's so interesting because they're both independent in their own ways, but they need each other to keep on moving forward and to keep on bettering themselves, which is just the greatest thing that you can have for two main characters in the story. And it's just enjoyable because they're both adorable and they're both kind of crazy in their own ways, and that just always comes to an interesting story at the end of the day. So I ship them. There's nowhere else he can go but S.
Yeah, I feel like his package was going.
Yeah,
like Gon goes, Killua.
Honestly, yeah, he's going in between Hisoka. You can.
Literally that done. Sokka's like, hey, Gon. Killua's like, bap, bap, bap. Full arm's length.
100%.
Relax.
Yep.
That's dope.
Oh.
All right, next is, I think, I'm not gonna lie, one of my personal favorite characters. I really like Kurapika, and I'm actually a little annoyed that we, you know, again, this isn't relevant to this because it's where we're at now, but that like we haven't seen him in a while, and that like the last arc focused on Gon and Killua so intently, but I'm assuming that is hopefully because the next arc, like when Kurapika will come back, and we'll get more from him, because I actually really like this character. I really like that Kurapika. So it's, you know, I obviously in joking made comparisons to Hunter x Hunter to Naruto when we started. I'm like, oh, this is, you know, they stole all Naruto's ideas. Obviously, I know this one came first, yada yada. But I feel like if you were to take a show like that, where it's a lot more clear where the character archetypes are and like who is supposed to be what type of character, Hunter x Hunter actually, at least with some of these characters, like mix it. Like, it's not so cookie cutter, right? Where it's like, you know, because if you wanted to try and draw comparisons, you could be like, okay, Gon's kind of like Naruto, and like Kurapika's got the whole Sasuke thing. But that's not really the case, because I would actually say that it would take, like, if you took Killua and Kurapika together, that actually sort of encompasses a character like who's like that archetype more, where it's like Kurapika on his own is actually a little bit of a wild card because he's highly intelligent and he's highly, you know, sort of the logical beat guy of the group here, and he has this sort of a very extensive book experience when it comes to the world in terms of what he knows, how to analyze things. But he has that very like sort of revenge-ridden heart, and where his whole goal here in becoming a hunter and doing what he's doing here is first and foremost, you know, despite whatever it is he goes through, is to get revenge, you know, for his family and against the Phantom Troop. But he doesn't seem, I mean, you know, I again, we haven't like really seen him in a while, and I don't really know where his head's at, but it's like I don't know how much that revenge, I guess, is going to like sort of infringe on his character, because Kurapika by himself, he's like a very well-mannered kid, and he, you know, he can sort of like hang with everybody and have fun with the best of them and stuff. But he does very clearly seem to have like a different agenda than like just fighting people for the sake of like getting stronger, you know?
Yeah, and that's what I'm curious about, because I agree, but I do in a weird way feel like he's going to go down that rabbit hole, like similar to Sasuke, because like hatred's a weird thing, and I feel like with a lot, like there's some people, like everybody takes hatred differently, and he seems like that type of person, super logistical, is very smart. Obviously he has this goal in mind, he wants to reach that goal, and obviously he's willing to risk everything for it. And when it comes to brass tacks, when you have that mindset of willing to risk everything for a goal, especially when it's revenge, you can get so engrossed in yourself and what you're trying to do. So even though you may be one person at the start of the journey, the process of continuing said journey is what changes you. So as logistical and, you know, smart and knowledgeable as he is, as he continues and he maybe starts to meet these people and legitimately start to fight them, and come with interactions possibly with their friends, which we've been alluded to with York New. I feel like that can just multiply and get like dangerously out of hands, especially because of how smart he is. So, but then again, we don't know. It could be quite the opposite. So I really think that
I would like to think that if that were the case, again, you could be right, and the story could take him down that road.
Yeah.
But I guess it's dependent, like, because like I feel like if Gon can save Killua, I think he's totally capable of like pulling, sort of also reining in Kurapika, and being like, hey man, I know what you want, but I see you're getting a little, so.
Yeah, I do, and that I feel like is going to happen. It's just relative to the story, because I feel like it would be, because I feel like we're not just going to have a happy little Gon, Killua, Leorio, and Kurapika. Like, there has to be some sort of, problem, conflict, intermingling, relationship issues. And I feel like that is the start of one of them with getting, same thing with Sasuke, going down revenge. Drilling that in for almost the entirety of the story till the end, he is somewhat on a better ground, and I feel like he's gonna be better off than say a Sasuke at the end because of Gon and his like just innate ability to kind of capture people in. But I do feel like it's not gonna be at the end of York New. It's gonna take some time, some breaking down. But who knows?
All right, it's time to bargain with you. If we don't, based on what you're saying, I could see putting him in A.
Yes,
but I'm not gonna lie. If we don't put him in S, I will be using my token to put him in S.
Well, then you're going to be waiting to the game to put him in S, so he's going in A. I ain't giving you, allowing you to get what you want just to save a token till the end. So you can wait till the end to use your token, and that's all right. But you're waiting to the end.
Damn,
he's not there yet. He's almost there, and I like my boy.
Right, it's just because I love him.
The compromise that comes with that decision is going to be the case with me and Leorio, because he happens to be one of my favorite characters in the whole story, and I love him.
Here's the thing, though.
Because he deserves the BS.
The same thing, where in terms of like what they've done, where Leorio and Kurapika have literally been paired up almost. It's funny.
100%.
This pairing up is literally almost irrelevant to the story. Where it's like Gon and Killua have clearly taken like a center stage focus, and Leorio and Kurapika have taken like an A level like focus. Where it's like, yeah, they're here, they're part of the crew, but like, what are they doing? Where do they go? What are they like? And like we know what they're up to, so to speak. But
in the case of my boy Leorio, we are covering this tier list to the end of the Zoldark family. Okay, so not with foreknowledge. So with that said, both Kurapika and Leorio were with Gon through the entirety of said arc and storyline that we're talking about to this point.
It's very true.
And he was the real G'est of the G's, so he deserves S.
I will just say, right off the if you guys have watched our reactions, there is no Leorio or Kurapika for that matter hate here. Like Leorio is like one of the realest motherfuckers I've ever met in anime, period. And I've been watching anime for a long time, so that has some weight to it. This dude fucks. Even to the extent that he has no real reason to be, because he's wildly outclassed by 90% of the people he picks a fight with. But he's that dude. He's like, you don't know his character, but like people who know Haikyuu, he's Tanaka to a T, where like you look at Gon the wrong way and Leorio's ready to fight you.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm sorry, were you looking at my boy funny? Like, what, you got a problem? Like, he's just ready to go for his homies, like, on a dime, bro, on the drop of a hat. And I respect the fuck out of that.
And not only that, he is the most human in this entire story, because he is what I picture the growth of every single person, whether young or teenage years. You start out, you're in it for the money, you're trying to do your thing, you're like, yeah, I got a couple goals, I really just care about the money, it's cool having other things, but whatever. And then as you're following in that almost ignorant like guidance, like weird traversing through life, you come across some other homies, i.e. Gon and Killua, where they almost derail you in a sense, and you find another purpose that isn't just greed, and it's all right, I respect these people, I love, like, they have my back, I have their back, they're the homies. And that's like in life, you find that group of friends and you're like, we're homies for life, it's about the money a little bit, but it's all the homies. And then like you're just learning how to deal with life as everybody is better than you in so many ways, which hate to tell everybody out there's always someone, no matter how good you are, there's somebody somewhere that is going to be better than you at something. And that's like a truth that you need to learn at some point. And unfortunately for Leorio, it tends to be 90% of the things that he does, especially when he's trying to be a hunter. And it's like, you know. But it's like, it's weird because I just see that he is the average person trying to go through life and keeps on getting literally shit on, but it doesn't matter because he has his homies, he has their back, and they have his back. So together they can literally do anything. It's the Webkins all over again, dog.
Although I will say,
or Wonder Pets. It's the Wonder Pets. I don't know why I said Webkins. It's the Wonder Pets all over again, bro. Like, we're on our way to save the day. Here's my Leorio chicken and turtle going to go and slay.
I will say that, excellent metaphor. I will say that even just between though like the talks that he has with Killua, there is obviously alluding to the fact that Leorio is not like, he puts up the front that he's like, money's the only thing that runs the world and it matters. But we do learn that, like, you know, his intentions for wanting that money are sort of like embedded behind a very like harsh reality check that he got about like, oh, I get it. All I want to do is save people, but apparently like money is what gets people's lives saved, not like feelings. So he, you know, that's sort of the hardened exterior he comes into the story with. But he, you know, and not saying that you were saying this, but he does obviously care about people. And I think through Gon and Kurapika and Killua, he learns that like caring about somebody and wanting them to do better can be the primary motivation in terms of, rather than the secondary, where it's like, okay, I want, you know, I need enough money to save them, but I also want to save them, where it's like, now it's flipped.
Which, and that's why I was talking about it's almost people, because people do come off as greedy in a certain sense, but it tends to be for an actual goal that is good and realistically is needed, whether it's health issues with somebody, a family member, or really whatever, just trying to get through college. And it's like a weird part of you needs that innate greed to make money and put yourself out there to get said money. It's just funny how like he portrayed himself in the beginning to where it's like, it's for the money, and then it's like you learn his backstory. And in a sense, that's everybody, because we survive off money. Like, that's the world. And it's like you know, everybody has intentions what they need the money for, and I'd like to think that most of them are more positive than negative, although that's not to say that there are negative attributes. But Leorio is not in the negative boat. It's completely positive, and that's why I love him. He's just amazing.
I will say, so the last point that I would actually give to both of these two, Kurapika and Leorio, is again, if we're going off the Hunter licensing, but specifically the Zoldark arc, Gon's initial journey to go like to go save Killua or bring him back is one that he intends to do alone. But both Kurapika and Leorio, in a heartbeat, sign up and are like, "Oh no, yeah, we're bringing him back. Like we'll go with you." Where seemingly, especially with the Hunter exam being over, and I know they all bonded through the exam, but like they didn't really have a reason to go with Gon after. Like,
no,
you know
100%.
what I mean? Because I would say that Gon, even though all the four of them clearly like connected, Gon clearly got the closest to Killua. So it to me, it really did like speak volumes that both of these two were like, you know, and you could even argue whether they were going specifically just for Gon or like because they cared about Killua. It almost doesn't matter. Like they went on this journey full knowing that they could both have died going on that trip, but they were like, nah, you're right. Like that's fucked up what happened, and we got to go get it. And actually, I'll scratch that. I know it wasn't even just for Gon, because during his exam, when Killua is fighting his brother, Leorio, and like they're on the sidelines getting just as messed up about how you know the trash talking his brother is doing to him, and Leorio's ready. Leorio, who would get killed in 0.3 seconds, is ready to jump in front of Killua and fight. And it's like
same thing with Gon when he was getting his ass beat by Hanzo. He was like, "I'm going to go in," and it's like, "Nah, hold him back, bro."
Exactly. So both of these two, like that's I think what I admire, despite both those characters' faults and despite where they might go and even what they've done so far. I think that these two characters are like incredibly loyal. Like there's a like once you connect with them, like they would take a bullet for you, and like that's incredible. I will say, if Kurapika's an A, I feel like we got to put Leorio in A.
I will put Kurapika in A, or not Kurapika, Leorio in A.
Okay.
I'll survive for it, but it might just ruin everything that you just said. So. And a lot of people are probably going to get angry with me, but not really, but it's just very random. So Leorio, you're going to live in A, and this is you're
okay.
going to treat at
now,
the end of this.
Yeah, now I'm very curious. Very excited to get to the end of this. All right. All right, so I'm not gonna lie, these next two, and actually there's another guy that can get sort of coped in with these other two, are the test, the exam proctors, whatever you want to call them, the instructors of the exams, the third and second respectively, and the first a little bit down the line. I really only put them on this list because, you know, the first arc of the story is the exam arc, and they are the proctors, and so like sort of, you know, the lessons and things that you learn and that they teach really give you insight into their characters, but are also important because like without learning that, you literally wouldn't be able to pass, you know, said test. But I will say, at least in my opinion, one of them, and I'll point out this gentleman in the pink hair. I don't remember his name, but stands out like a little bit more in terms of the
first one that we're on, or the one we're on right now.
No, the guy with the mustache, long like arms. And legs, like
yes.
of the test proctors, sticks out to me the most, just because like he gets the most screen time.
Yes.
And he has that whole moment at the end with Gollum where it's like, oh, okay, we were looking out for him from the beginning. But I will actually say Menchie, I think, is the girl's name. I do actually like. I think in order, I would say the guy with the pink hair, Menchie, and then this dude that we're at, because of all the proctors, this guy I kind of feel like is like I'm the most indifferent to. You know, I'm like, yeah, he ran the Trick Tower. He's doing a thing. He's like kind of skeevy, a little sus.
I just picture him eating those chips.
Yeah, literally, it's like he ate
here,
chips and like whined about it. It's
I couldn't really care about him. All right, sweet. I'm honestly, I have nothing to say to him.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't care.
Although Menchie, I will say that I did like the episodes that we got with her test, because I do like the whole idea that like at first she's like chilling, she's like, make us a meal, and it's like, what the fuck, why are we wasting our time with this? And it's like then you learn through the whole like risking your life to get ingredients and type stuff, and it's like that the takeaway from that, especially once Netero gets involved, is that like being a hunter is not all about like always about seeking out the strongest opponent and having these life or death battles every day, because you can have a life or death battle just to get ingredients to make good food. It's like no matter your specific pursuit in life, as long as you pursue it with the same passion that a typical hunter does, like you can go leagues, you can go miles and miles ahead. And like the way that she sort of teaches everybody that and puts that lesson into focus, I actually thoroughly enjoyed. Like the whole arc of the test, that test is one of the ones that sticks out to me. I'm like, that was really cool.
No, I completely agree. Her style is amazing, and she's like kind of wild, which is also cool. It's actually I like her a lot.
I kind of want to put her in B, because we don't have anybody in B yet, and I'm like, be a nice way to break in the B category.
You know what? I can conclude to that.
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for Canary sitting here. There's a part of me that like feels like she should be in B, but I don't know. I'll pat her on the head with the mouse. It's like I keep on looking at her and I feel bad. I'm like, Hanzo. I'm like, this guy, Goke or Goto.
I did really like Canary. Like that's why I think I said B initially, but I was like, it's just because I like her. Like I like her, like her character.
I feel bad. Okay, I'll get over it.
All right, next
Milwaukee.
Yes, aka Killua's super upset, whiny baby brother.
Piece of shit.
Who just is mad that he's not Killua, basically.
So annoying.
Who again? I put on this. I put on this list specifically because he had there's a because he has a little bit of time in the story. There's a little bit of a moment where he has with Killua's I think it's his grandfather, right? That's the one who he's talking with in the hallway.
Yes, it was his grandfather. Yes.
Where you sort of learn where he's like, I should have been like the chosen one of the family. Like I can do X, Y, and Z, and the grandfather's like, no, you have skill. I'm not doubting that, but it's sort of there's an underlying reason that has to sort of do with like your willpower and like who you are as a person and what
piece of shit
what you can do. Yeah, that like is why Killua got chosen. Also, yes, he is an incredibly whiny piece of shit.
Bro, he was like whipping Killua, getting like turned on by it. And I'm like, no, stop it. And he's like, come on, Killua. He's like, why don't you say something? Cry, scream. And I'm just like, shut up. Like I'm literally, I don't know. I just want to like, I'm not gonna say it.
Right. Yeah. I feel like he's going with his family. Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's and I ain't gonna do it to this poor administrator. You won't be smudged by that.
Oh man. Ooh. All right. Next we got Netero, who immediately comes off with like your third Hokage type energy, where he's like, yeah, I'm here. I'm here watching over and overseeing everything. And I'm being goofy, hanging with the kids. But I feel like if need be, I could turn up and I could probably fuck all you up with one finger.
Probably.
So that's really dope, and I do immediately feel like he's being set up as like that. After all, he's the head of the Hunter Association. So I am very curious as to the next time we see, or not necessarily the next time we see him, but the first time we get to see him like fight and or turn up, because that'll be epic as fuck.
Yeah,
I'm sure. But I do like his, with that character comes that archetype, right? He's like very wise. He's very obviously like sort of stoic, and he understands the world. But that is, it's almost very, very two-faced, but not in like the mean sense. It's just that like he comes off to everybody like this old, like wacky, zany, like goofy
He's
guy.
a cool grandpa.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it,
But
and
it's
I love
like
it.
people see them and they're like, whatever. He's like old and crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But like
Yeah.
obviously he's incredibly wise and beyond, you know.
Probably just blow up the whole world just like one
exactly.
punch.
But
So
it's like he's been around the world and he knows how everything works.
yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I do really like him. I think B.
I could see an argument for B or A. Yeah, I would put him in A, but honestly, I guess he's not really at that level yet for me, being like a Kurapika and a Leorio. Like he's almost there, and he has the potential to be, and like he is that cool grandpa, but like it's just not there 100% yet. But B is still a good place to be.
All
To
right.
be or not to
Next
be?
is Polk, who I do kind of feel like
Or
is
Pokel.
or Pokel,
Pokel.
Pogo, sir.
He looks like a Pokel.
Is like kind of a package deal with Hanzo, just in the sense that like again, you know, they
even less about him.
Yeah,
Say
exactly.
than
Where it's
Hanzo.
like they both passed, so
Yeah.
and they've been alluded to. I'm sure there's going to be tie back in at some point.
Yeah.
But right now, they both kind of just seem to be like there because they were the best of the rando group, and it's like, you know, we don't have enough on them to really get them into that B or higher tier.
Yes.
So it's really just like, oh, he was there and we don't hate him, which like I feel like is what automatically grants him the C.
I guess something that I want to talk to him about, or talk to about him. Wow, did not word that right. Is his actual ability, because obviously he comes out with a bow and arrow.
Very true.
I'm curious to how that's going to age in the story, because obviously we're going to be super like beings and Nen and all types of wacky shit like that. I feel like a bow and arrow is going to be irrelevant at some point, unless there is some like hard like buff to them in terms of an Nen ability, something like that. So I'm curious to how they actually go about it, because like obviously just shooting an arrow, these guys are going to dodge it or probably like redirect it back in his face. So I'm curious to how he is going to grow later on the story, especially if we're going to be seeing him, which it seems like they're alluding about, which I'm sure when we do see him, he's going to have some sort of Nen ability. And I'm curious to where he's able to help out in being a supporting character for Gon, Killua, Kurapika, and Leorio, or if he's just gonna really be on the background, or like be on the back burner background type deal, and like he's just gonna be there, which would be kind of, I mean, I don't care.
It would be kind of
but-
cool if, like you were saying, if at some point Gon meets Hanzo again, like at some point, and like you said, like maybe Hanzo gives him like a tip or like teaches him something about either his skills or just like the world or whatever, that like Gon, like, you know, fits Gon into a retrospective moment that he needed, and then maybe, I don't know really how, to be honest, because I actually think Kurapika's way smarter than Polk, but that he does that for Kurapika, because I think they were the ones that fought right in the final exam, where it's like, oh, this is how, like, you have to think about doing this way, or like whatever, I don't know, type beat. But
yeah, or maybe it's a matter of like Killua just appeasing him, and like they fight, and it's like, you know, Pokel is kind of now showing his new skills and attributes that make him relevant.
oh wait, that's right, actually, yeah, because Killua didn't fight him.
Correct.
Killua fought Hisoka.
Yes.
Hisoka let okay.
Yeah.
I remember now.
So that's the thing. This kid kind of just got like, you know, really, like, we didn't really see anything in terms of his power or nothing. So I wonder if he has a chip on his shoulder in terms of he needs to prove himself, in which he does to, say, Killua, Gon, and Groot, which would be interesting. I don't really know how I would feel about his character even after that, if he'd still be relevant or not. But we will leave that to be determined by the show. So, C?
I think C.
C it is.
C is a Furby.
Jablam.
I think, all right, so for this guy,
Sataz.
put, what's his name?
Sataz?
Sataz.
Sataz.
I really like him. I think he's really cool. Obviously, when you first meet him, you're like, oh, okay, here's like the, you know, this guy's goofy for the sake of being goofy. This appendages slinging down the pathway here in the first exam. But like pretty much all the test proctors except for this dude in D, you know, there's more to him than meets the eye, and I do think, especially, obviously, I think he's the thing that puts him in the best light is his ending conversation at the end of the exam with Gon, where, you know, it's alluded that he has sort of been like keeping his eye on him and in a weird way, like looking out for him, and he gives him that advice at the end that is really pivotal, like for Gon to take with him, you know, as he finishes and leaves the exam. I am hoping we see him again. Like, I kind of want to know. I'm mainly because I'm like, with this relationship here that's been established with him and Gon. I'm hoping that he, like, you know, once he, because again, you know, not that I'm drawing it into this conversation because it's in the latest arc, but Gon passes the next part of the exam, which we learn is sort of the secret exam, you know, the end of it, which he had like altered to. He's like, oh shit, I almost told him about it, because like, so I do kind of want to see, you know, his thoughts on that and like where they are at now, but also what his, I guess, maybe not his end goal, but it is alluded that he met Gon's father, and that he, you know, was so like sort of swayed by meeting him and the way he was, that he like almost took up to like following him, right? Correct. So I guess I wonder if like that's gonna go anywhere, or if that's gonna play in anywhere. Like maybe it's like he ends up getting a tip about Gon's father that maybe he passes on to Gon later. Like I don't know, but I do like him.
No, yeah, I really like him, and honestly, I liked him since the minute we saw him, and having no mouth, pink hair, and a mustache. That is a great mustache, I must say. And I honestly, everything that this character does, I love. I love the way he walks. I love the way he runs. I just like I can't not laugh, and I can't not say anything. Like even Hisoka when they ran like the first 32 miles or 300 miles or whatever, and then he like he did that weird like card thing where he like tried to throw it at him, and then he pretty much like snapped, and he's like I see what you did there, but if you do it again, you're disqualified. And I was like, oh, like he just laid the hammer down like that. He is just a savage. I love him. I want to know more about him, and he's amazing. I concur. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking I'm getting B. B is like what's coming into my body. I'm just feeling a B. Like I could see C.
Okay, no, he's going B.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I ain't even gonna let you make that. Oh no, I put him. Oh wait, that's A. What am I doing? I got nervous. I put him in A. I'm like, oh no, I put him in C.
He's in B. Deletes the picture.
Yeah, deletes the picture. All right, no. All right. He ain't getting lower than that.
Next, we have, I believe his name is Silvio.
Silvia. I actually want to say Sylvia. Hold
Daddy
on.
Zoldark.
Silva.
The badass lion mane, no, taking no bullshit. Zoldark, leader of the Zoldark family. Yeah, who immediately off the bat, just from meeting him, you're like, that dude shady. I know.
There's a reason why he's the head of the Zoldark family. Yeah,
it's like and that is this guy. First off, he's the leader of the Zoldyck family, which has the reputation they have. I'm going to say presumably because of him. Like I feel like he, 90% set the precedent here, because we see that no matter what the other Zoldyck family members like sort of either think or say, like his word's final. Like his mom feels some type of way about something, the brothers do, but it's like once Daddy Zoldyck says what it is. That's what it, that's just it. Which is funny, most prevalently in the Zoldyck arc, when everybody kind of like comes here to save Killua and take him, like get him out of the mansion. And even the mom and at least some of the family members and probably some of the servants are like, yeah, like Killua should stay here. He's home now. The father is like, you want to go? Go. And it's like, why is he here? But like clearly, like we were saying in those reactions in those episodes, I feel like there is some double-handed shady shit at work here where he's like, oh yeah, go out and like hang out with your friends, but like Loki is trying to find a way to get his friends killed so that Killua will like fall down deeper into that despair maybe, and then like it might entice him to go back to his assassin roots or whatever. My point is, I feel like he doesn't actually have Killua's. Okay, here's the thing. I feel like sort of in the same vein that, who were we talking about this before with? The servant, the head servant. I feel like in some weird way, he does want what's best for Killua, or rather he does want Killua to succeed. Like he doesn't want him to just like run off into the world and like die, like in some random fight. But his like version and idea of like, I want Killua to succeed is like, the only way he'll get there is if he does it, like he goes about it at some point the way I did, meaning like he leans on this assassin route, like he's a Zoldyck, he has that to lean on, and like maybe doesn't inherently trust like the kind of person Killua could be if he got really tight with Gon, where it's like, oh, he's this good person who just has these skills and like can kill, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't he wants Killua to succeed, and I maybe doesn't believe he could do it any other way other than like following his vision, his path.
So in a weird way, I guess my thoughts on him was I do think this is a manipulative tactic. I don't know in terms of killing his friends, but I do feel like that this guy is someone who's stupid powerful and doesn't feel like, obviously they're isolated on a mountain, that he needs to be associated with other people. And I feel like in a weird way, he's allowing Killua to go out with his friends and do these things, not because he wants to, but there's a weird fact that he has in his mind that there is nobody who is inherently better than the Zoldyck family, being me or being my son, who's seen it as a prodigy. So with that, he is going to give his son the choice, quote unquote, to go out and do whatever he wants to. He's not going to force him to do anything, because with that, I believe that he believes that being with Gon and group, that they aren't going to live up to the standards that Killua is. He's a prodigy. They see him as this person who has learned so much, and he has so much innate ability that nobody else matches him. So if he's out in the real world with his friends, one, they're going to never live up to his expectations, and two, it's going to become to a Killua that they're not going to be at a level that he's at. It's impossible. So it's, what's the point of going out and meeting these people when they're not going to meet his expectations of power? Because Killua is like that, which is why he has like an affinity to Gon, because Gon isn't just a pushover. He has this like weird power that he doesn't understand where it's coming from, but it seems like he can literally do anything. And that's almost like it's foreign to Killua, because he's like, oh, well, you know, my family's the best, you know, we're the best, you know, I don't really see people who are powerful that aren't my family. And it's like, it's curious. I want to know this person. And I'm assuming his father is of the mindset, I don't care how curious this kid Gon might be, there's no way he's going to be stronger than my son in the future. So there's going to be a point when Killua gets bored and he's going to want to come back to the family, because there's no more fun in the world. Everything is kind of like, all right, they're weak, let me come back home, in a sense.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, that's how I feel like his dad's dynamic is kind of missing, maybe muddling some details in between. But I do think it's almost like the cockiness of my family's the best. Once he gets bored doing his little things out there and seeing that it's not all cracked up to be, he'll come home because he's my son and I'm super powerful and he's going to be super powerful. And I feel like that's just like his cockiness, arrogant mindset.
And maybe there could even be a part of the father. Of the father who is maybe the father is curious about Gon himself, where he's like, you know what? Let's put this kid through the ringer. If Killua gives him this much praise and everybody else is like, there's something about him, I'm curious. Like, let's see how much of a Zoldyck he can handle or whatever, and like, let's see how far he can go. Like, in a weird way, him pinning Killua with Gon is a test on Gon. Like, he wants to see how much Gon can take. You know, if he's sort of up to snuff.
So I actually think it's going to end up differently with what you said. So I do like what you said. I don't see it with his character, because I feel like he would allow people to at least come into his play. Like, I feel like he would have more communication with the outside world if that was the case. But what I do think is going to happen is Gon is going to live up to an expectation that this Silva didn't see was possible. And with that, he's going to be threatened by Gon and feel like he is going to have to get rid of him in some way, shape, or form. With that, I feel like, oh, he's taking away my son. He's done doing this much thing, and he's this powerful. Now I got to step in, intervene, and then some crazy shit's going to happen, and then there's going to be a whole falling out.
Although I guess it makes sense on some level if you think that, like, this guy, because even above what he thinks, Killua has also never been a person that's expressed like interest in anybody.
Correct.
So just the fact, like, even if he's never met other people that Killua's talked about or never met Gon, just the fact that Killua has praised Gon this much, he's like, Killua's never thought this much about anybody. Like, there's got to be something.
So you think that it can almost have like a positive impact on the father?
Long term. I think, like, right now it's purely curiosity.
Yeah.
Like, he's purely like, wow, Killua's literally never given a single fuck about anybody. This is like a lot of praise coming from Killua. Like, I know Killua to be a very secluded kid, and he's a Zoldyck, which means he's usually, like you said, he's pretty much better than most people. So like this kid, this is all he talks about. And so, like, you know, so I think at first it's like there's this innate curiosity, and so, like you said, he might pit Killua with him because he's like, okay, Killua's curious in him now, but like eventually it's gonna fit. Like, he's a Zoldyck, eventually he'll get the better of him. But I think long term, once, obviously, you know, spoiler, kind of like, we just know it's not gonna happen, Gon is going to continue to impress Killua and then presumably his father, maybe by extension, and maybe I don't want to say for sure because I think he could spiral back into the opposite direction, but maybe there's a route where the dad ultimately ends up becoming like impressed and maybe even coerced a little bit by Gon, and he's like, okay, maybe there's another way to do this, but I think that would take a lot, but I think it's possible.
I like it.
But I altogether here, what we do, I really do like those theories, and I think that actually contextualizes his character much better than what I was initially thinking about him.
With that said, I think he's a D.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, is that you go?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, we'll put him next to Mama Killua. It's all good. Actually, he's the head of the family, so he was number one. Okay,
That was honestly the best rating in this entire list. Oh, man.
All right, after it's all said and done, super interesting character. I think he is.
Yeah, he's really going places.
Up from Tompa.
Put him in a D.
Amazing. All right, honestly, I'm not giving this guy the time of day to do an explanation.
We just hate him.
Yeah, if you don't think that he deserves to have his own category below shit and despicable people, you need to rewatch the show.
100%.
100%.
Because Killua's brother is a shit person, but at least he's like upfront about it.
Yeah.
And Tompa is just the most like, he's just the prime example of like the worst kind of person. Exactly. He doesn't have the balls to be like honest about how much of a shit person he is.
100%.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, I hate him. I don't even want to talk to him.
Fuck that ish.
Yep, nope.
All right. Anyway.
Zebra.
Yeah. Somebody who's at least 4 times the man that Tompa could ever be.
4 times a man.
Just from doing his job, basically, which is actually kind of crazy. Because
Zebro.
A lot of this last arc, the Zoldark arc, is funneled through his perspective. Like we learn about it literally through this guy. He's the one who sort of tells Gon and company about the Zoldark family's history, why they are the way they are, sort of what the setup here is, and gives them as many chances as he possibly can to succeed, whether it's by means of like, telling them how the structure of the layout and stuff works. But also you just learn the kind of person he is. Again, a lot of it's sort of alluded to that a lot of the servants are here and they sort of believe and are here to willingly serve the Zoldark family, but that in a way it's more of a job than it is like something they want to do. Yeah. Where like this guy genuinely seems to like, again, Canary genuinely cares about Killua and some of the family members, right? Where he wants them to succeed and do well. I mean, he's the one who, when Gon is like, no, I'm here because I'm Killua's friend. I'm not here. I don't care like about his past or his, how strong it. Like he's my friend. Like I want to. He's the first one who's like, okay, and is like willing to risk, his status and the sort of status quo of the Zoldark family on that notion, right? He's like, all right, Gon, if you say you're Killua's friend, I have to be honest, like that is the one thing Killua needs right now is like a genuine friend. Like if that's what you say and in a way puts him through the ringers to prove it, right? He's like, okay, you say you're his friend, but like how much, this is what the Zoldark family is about. How much are you willing to go through that to get Killua? And when Gon proves anything, it's just so nice that there's somebody that this guy was where he was, basically. Right place, right time kind of beat, because he is exactly the kind of person that like this family and specifically people like Killua actually needed looking out for them, because the Zoldark family as a whole obviously is pretty messed up, and they've got this whole the frame dysfunctional family doesn't even begin to describe them, but this is what you need people like Canary, people like Zebro, who like while they work with this family on the inside, they are here to sort of make sure that like the really good people, the sort of the diamonds in the rough, so to speak, in this family don't crack under the pressure here, right? And so until Killua met somebody like Gon, I think having people in his corner like Canary and even more so like Zebro, who they couldn't show that affection in the same way Gon does, because Gon doesn't have those family ties. But like they were doing what they could, and I gotta give him props for that.
Yeah, not only that, he just went so far out of his way. Like not only was he like, you need to prove yourself that you are Killua's friend and you need to do XYZ things. He was like, I'm also going to supply you with the training to be able to achieve said things, and almost hold your hand and walk you through it in terms of, yes, I'm giving you deadlines and it is harsh and it is brutal, but I am giving you a means to the end in terms of a solution resolution to, the conflict that you have, which I couldn't see any other character doing, because he literally is putting his neck out on the line. Like, imagine kind of going against your job and that being working for the Zoldark family.
Yeah.
Like, you are literally putting your neck on the line. I don't care how strong he is. And I mean,
I don't think you just get to quit that job.
No.
I think they kill you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting at. So, like, he definitely put himself out there, and not a lot of people would do that. And honestly, I give him nothing but props. I really like the man.
For sure. I'm going to say... Oh, man. I almost instinctively said C just because there's, the other two servants are here. But I'm not going to lie.
I was inclined to give him A, honestly.
Really? Okay.
I just feel like there wouldn't be a Gon, Kurapika, Leorio, and Killua without him. Like,
as in that reunion.
Their reunion. Like, this would have never happened if it wasn't for this man. And that's, I don't know, I feel likely. But I will settle for B.
Yeah,
if that is.
I think we'll meet in the middle with B.
Okay. Where's my mousey?
Alrighty then.
Boom.
All right. Now, Gavin, you have teased and tantalized me.
Yes.
With alluding to your surprise token usage, which was not where I thought it was going to be. So please let us know.
So it's nothing crazy because I'm going to do it with taste, I should say. All right. So I'm not going to destroy this whole board. Okay. But this goes to one of my favorite characters in the story. And I love him. And there really is no reason behind it. It was just, I like the physical appearance of said person. And I don't know, there's like an inner child in me that just, I don't know why I'm drawn to it. I love it. Either way, it's Sataz going to A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was going to put him in S, but I don't want to destroy that.
I thought, in my head, I was like, okay, in a weird way, at first I thought it was Ahsoka, but Ahsoka's already an S. So I'm like, he's not going to move Ahsoka down. And then I'm like, because I know you, who's the other character that like you weirdly gravitated towards like so much that you'd even be willing to like speak on their behalf? And then I'm like, it's got to be.
It's Mustachio. It happens because of the mustache and because he's got lanky arms and he goes, woo, 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 and I love it. I don't know why, it's hilarious. And he literally... I couldn't get past the beginning of the show if it wasn't for him. He made it so much more enjoyable than it needed to be, and I don't even know why. It was just amazing. I love him.
There you go. That is fair. He is definitely a very memorable character. Like even if you don't, if someone who doesn't like him, you can't be like, who you don't like. You remember. He's just the guy with the mustache.
He's the first Proctor. Come on, he's amazing.
He's dope.
So are you sticking to your guns? What you said originally, or?
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I got such like a low key man crush on Kurapika that it makes me want to see him only in the highest of tiers. So he's got to go to S. Oh my god, that was so insulting. What did you do? You just broke everything. Oh my god, you like knocked it out of presentation. How'd you even do that?
Oh wait, no, it's in presentation mode.
No, because it's all white now. Remember the background was black.
Oh, okay. Well, don't mind the glitch. That was me.
Gang. All right.
I feel so bad. No, Leorio has to go. There's a hidden token. I'm sorry. They can't be separate. I'll break the rules this time around. I can't do it. I can't do it. Leorio can't be alone.
For Hunter x Hunter, I will concede.
For Hunter x Hunter, it has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be.
We're gonna... boys.
Look, if I get 2 tokens, you can get a second token. Anybody else you want to move, Isaiah?
Yes, but it would require making another lower tier to put Tom down here. So I'm good.
Well, how hard is it? Can't you add a row? Add a row above.
Oh,
No.
it doesn't?
No, it doesn't. Look at that. New.
Oh,
we can name it right here on the fly. All right, so what do you want to name? Or A, B, C, D, E?
Call it the worst character, because even he's less than even the worst characters. So you have A, B, C, D, the worst characters possible, and then Tom.
Wait, the worst character is possible, or just the worst character?
The worst character is fine.
Okay. So
perfect.
All right, and who shall it be?
So I don't know. I was gonna say Killua's brother on instinct because I don't like him, but I will say the only person I would say is even less than that is kind of the third Proctor, because he's like, I didn't like the character and he doesn't really do a lot, you know?
That's
Which I'm
true.
like, is that worth less than being a shit character but like kind of having relevancy?
Yeah, but if I'm being real, this guy, I don't even want to know his name.
No, you're right.
He whipped Killua and was like trying to hurt him, and I ain't about that.
Yeah.
So
That's fair.
third Proctor, you can eat your fucking potato chips in the corner. And
You're safe
cry.
in D for now.
You're safe in D, but yeah, no, I don't like that kid.
That's fair.
You can-
Very fair. All right.
Wow.
Cool. This is it, folks.
Oh,
The fully finished Hunter x Hunter characters arc from the Hunter License Exam all the way to the Zoldark arc. We will be posting his picture right around the time this video goes out. So please be on the lookout for it. And then the if you go to our account, which we'll probably I'll have it tweeted out, at least hopefully I'll remember, for this list in case you want to make like your own version of the list. Again, this is just covering those first 2 arcs. And we do plan, like I said, I have this broken up. We do plan to do more of these in the next coming, like weeks or whenever we finish those arcs respectively. Along with just like a review, sort of going over our thoughts about these arcs, talking about what we thought, favorite moments, standout character, interactions, where we think the story's going to go, type stuff. So definitely stay tuned for that. And again, all of that stuff is going to be here on the AOA show. And then we have our reactions to all these episodes. We are watching this show all the way through on the AOA React channel. We usually do it 2 episodes a week. So stay tuned for that. Go over there, like, comment, and subscribe over there as well. Yeah. With that, though, we will see you guys in the next Hunter x Hunter video.
catch you later.
Peace.
Ninjas are samurais, blazing the kunais. Find me in the leaf of the cloud, screaming out Bankai. We just some ghouls though, who like seeing parts fly. They like what you saying, Goma got more through the storylines. I tested your neck from the start, my hunters gon' come for your heart. I promise you'll land in my boulevard, left them in one piece, no.